Hello my friends, welcome to our YouTube video today on learning how to do it yourself with Bill. And today I'm going to show you how to make your own homemade designed gym at home using very simple equipment that's concrete, and at the same time you are going to learn that you will get the same results that you would get while at the gym. And these are some of my ingredients. I have fast setting cement right here. I have a bucket of concrete. Of course I have water right here, and the two rods that I decided to have. So these are the rods that I have, and I hope you're going to learn a lot and learn how to do it yourself and take advantage of it. I have a rod. This is the bigger rod that I have of the two, and so I have to set it in such a way that this is not gonna slip out of the bucket that I'm gonna be using to make the gym. So I'll add a connector that's going to hold onto the cement so it does not come out. So this is going to act as an anchor. The anchor is gonna help in stabilizing the rod inside the bucket of cement, and so I want to make sure that both sides have the same. And so this is what I have right here. It's something heavy, some big short stuff. And this other one that I have has some two connectors right here. This connector is joined right there, and once this bucket goes in and I put in cement, it cannot come out because this is going to be a good anchor for it. And so what I'm going to do, I will now start mixing the solution, the water, with the cement and the concrete to make it look and seem stable. This is something that's going to take 20 to 40 minutes to dry, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it on either side. I'm going to add the cement. I'm going to add the cement in the bucket, add the concrete, and also now the water, so I can now manage to have a paste that's going to seem mixable, and that's when the rod is going to now go inside. This is a very quick job. I'm going to pour the cement inside the bucket and make sure it's at the level that I want it to be. Then I'm going to add the concrete that I want right inside there. Just a couple rocks, and then kind of stir it a little and add the water. And this is now what I'm going to use to make it settle. First of all, I'm going to center this rod. Make sure it's at the center. Then slowly add the cement and the concrete. Making sure that it's at the same level as the one that's going to be part of it, so that each of the sides can be of the same weight. And now I'm going to add the water in. Before I add the water, I want to make sure that I kind of slightly pull out the rod so I can manage to let it sit at the center of the rocks, at the center of the whole thing, so it cannot protrude from the other side. And now I'll add water, and then I'll use my trowel to mix it. The cement that I have is readily made. It has concrete. It's actually bought with sand in it, and it only takes 20 to 40 minutes to dry up. And after this has kind of mixed up so well, I'm gonna let it sit, and that way we're going to have a good paste that will dry up within 20 to 40 minutes. And so we're gonna wait and see how it's gonna be. So I will show you how to go about it. So you want to make sure that this paste is completely mixed, so this water can sink in and reach every part of it, so it can reduce the chances of having to shatter and break and get damaged. So you have to make sure you stir it pretty well. Make sure that this thing is centered so you can have evenly distributed weight, and then you can add some rocks on top to make sure that it's actually gonna add more stability to the whole paste. And then you're gonna use the trowel and and dip them in slightly, and then let it sit. So it's gonna sit, and later we are going to see the end results of the whole thing. So make sure it's centered, well supported, and also ensure that the distance between the bottommost part and the top is measured. For me, I'm gonna use just my finger to see where the level of the cement is, then make a mark from the top of this to make sure that at the same level is the one that the other side of the bucket will be at. That's an easy way of knowing, or rather determining, the distance between the bottommost part and the top. So now it's sitting there, and it's going to be ready in like 20 to 40 minutes. So I'll let it sit, and then I'm gonna flip it over and do the same thing. So ladies and gentlemen, the work is done. The paste is now setting and settling. So we wait for tomorrow, and we are gonna see the results. Hours down the line, it has dried up, and so after that I made sure that it actually set properly and managed to hold solidly. And now what I've done, I have actually, let me actually show you how it looks like. There it is, it's inverted, and now I have actually decided to invert it and make sure that this other one is empty. And so now I am going to prepare the other solution, and or rather with paste, and I will make sure that this now goes into this bin here to make sure that the weights are equally balanced, and also make sure that this is something that's going to hold pretty well. Tomorrow is gonna be a rainy day, and I didn't want the rain to catch up with me. That's why I had to wrap up with this at night. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll leave it there at night. So I'll prepare it from the side and then pour the paste inside here and let it sit and actually settle during the night, and by morning everything will be pretty much okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a happy man. Yesterday we started a job. I showed you step by step how to make your own weights and build them from your own home, and we left them to settle yesterday, and now the work is done. The weights are right here. I tried lifting them, and each side weighs about 50 pounds. Now I am going to show you how they look, and you're gonna agree with me that they are actually aesthetic. This is simply because I have made them myself to the preference that I had always desired. So I'm gonna show you how it looks in a second. So these are the weights. You can see how it looks. The concrete inside actually sits so well and looks as though it's being designed by a designer. It looks as though it's something that's professionally made, and this is something that I actually showed you how to do yesterday. And so now I'm a happy man. I can manage to actually lift the weights and even make more of different sizes depending on what it is that I actually want. I can make smaller ones, I can make bigger ones, and of course when you're making your weights, when you're building your weights, you have to consider the fact that you have to have progression. You start with smaller weights, go advancing step by step to a point where you reach, let me say, you reach the maximum kind of, let me call it tolerance of the weights. So I am happy that we have at last managed to build our own weights at home, thanks to do it yourself with Bill. What do you want next for the videos? We could delve into the kitchen, and I could make you a sumptuous meal. I could show you how to do it yourself at home, and how to make something that you always go to the shop and maybe to the mall to buy, and talk of something like Chick-fil-A. I can actually show you how to do it, but this is all dependent on your suggestions. comment, like, subscribe, and let me know what you want me to feature in my next video. And you never know, your idea could be shining in my channel. Make sure you subscribe and share the video with many of your friends, and this is something that's gonna help us. Let's continue being do-it-yourself champions with Bill, and see you on the next one.